All right, hi, I'm Larracas. I'm an organizador. I've been studying with the LESKAS system, specifically Buena Mano LESKAS under instructor Buena.
Ready and go.
I've been taking Arnie since 2004 when I started with the LaSalle Green Hills varsity team and the LaSalle Green Hills Arnie's Club. After that, it's been kind of freeform. I trained with the UANP team because UST didn't have a team at the time. I trained with the CSB team and the DLSU team, what remained of them. I've competed a couple of times, and everything since then has just been for fun and my personal exploration in Filipino martial arts. My home system that I trained with and started with is LESKAS, which is a system formulated by Mang Elmer Ibanez, Grandmaster Elmer Ibanez, which is based off of Mang Benjamin Lema's system, which is Lightning Scientific. Mang Elmer did his own changes, did his own version of the LSI curriculum. That's what I study under. The beauty of LESKAS for me is how it's been very, very simple, and they've actually encouraged exploration. We recommend this is how you move, we recommend this is how you do a thing, but it's not a dogma. This is why the emphasis in LESKAS is the S, the scientific. And from what I've been told, that was the most important thing to Mang Ben and Mang Elmer. You take what works for you and you look at the ones that don't. Maybe there's just something that you're missing. I have taken quite a bit from all the other organizadors and martial artists I've met over the years. I've trained with the UST org, some people from Ateneo. All of them have kicked my ass, and I have learned quite a bit and incorporated it into my own system, my own personal approach to LESKAS. And there's really no clash there, to be honest, because Arnis is Arnis, and there's always something for everyone, and we all have our own approach, and there's no reason why it all can't get along. Well, the pro to it is because, yeah, everyone has two arms, two legs. There's only so many ways you can do something. But, you know, we all have different physical abilities. We all have different ranges. Like, in particular, I am very different from a lot of my teammates. A lot of my teammates are the tall, lanky type. So even though we learn the same way, we fight kind of differently because I'm short and stocky. I've learned to compensate for my height. I've learned to fight against that sort of fighter. And while our base moves look similar, our approach is very different. But no one will tell me that it's wrong because it works. And that's the upside to a non-dogmatic approach, because as long as it works, it's not a problem, really. The cons, I think, you really should have a base set of skills first before you start exploring. Just like any other art, you want to know the rules before you start breaking them. Like, it's kind of hard to freestyle or freeform if you don't know what tool set you have. You can freeform from the beginning if you want to, but there's only so much you can do if you're not familiar with your own movement, what is available to you. So knowing the toolbox first is very important. But again, this is dependent on your personal path. Like, if you just want to have fun, if you just want to mess around, there's no problem there. But if you want to you want to learn to compete, you want to spar, you want to do anyo, it's better that you have a clear path so you know what you can and can't do, what you should be aiming for, and what's probably a bad idea in everyone else's experience. Because, you know, there's no reason why you should get injured over something that you can avoid. If you want to train for point spar, of course, mostly you're going to train on your agility, your footwork, that sort of thing. If you're continuous sparring, you want your endurance, your wind, because you won't be moving your feet as much, but you will be wailing on the other guy nonstop. And that takes a lot of wind out of you. So, yeah, like, while everyone will have a base set of skills, you might want to think about what your approach is, what direction you want to go in martial arts, and well, any martial art really. If you just want to learn everything, that's fine. But having a clear goal, a clear path, really helps. It helps streamline the process. Not a necessity, but it helps. You have to be honest about what you're teaching, whether it really is just a stick format, a tried and true stick format, or you know it is blade because you've seen it used in blade, you've seen the pros and cons of it being used in blade. Because let's be real, a lot of arnis is stick fighting nowadays, even though the origin is blade form. But a lot of people romanticize that, hold to the idea of the history, and I get that. But sometimes you give your student the wrong idea, and you know, this sort of thing just spreads. There's nothing wrong with that, but then it might cause problems down the line. We have people who think that they know their way around an attack when they've only held like rattan sticks and have never trained blade orientation, and that's dangerous to both of them and whoever they might train with. I'm not saying this as an expert, this is just my personal experience because I've run into that. I've had people who say like they know their way around blade, pero pag pinahawak mo naman, they're like, ganun yung hata, like, doesn't that hurt? Yeah. Like, it would work if it was a stick, but you know, that would suck if it was a blade. I won't say it's wrong, but it would suck because wrists don't work that way. I really still feel like I'm a beginner here. I think where I have a lot of experiences, I've done my time in the competition circuit. I've done some time as an assistant instructor. I'm not formally an instructor yet, I can't make that claim. But actually teaching other people has been very eye-opening to me. It's given me some insight to my own practice, some insight as to how some techniques work and how they can vary from individual to individual. Because originally I was just concerned with myself. But now figuring out, how do I make this work for someone else? But at the same time, you know, I still feel like I'm still a beginner. I've mostly been with just one system. I've been dabbling with others, and I'm still learning new things. Like, I took a workshop with the Illustrisimo guys a couple of years ago, and I was like, it never occurred to me to use a stick this way. This is new to me. Like, it's been used on me, but it's never been taught to me, so I've never understood how it works. So it's always fun to have that sort of thing. Like, I'd like to steal some words from my instructor here that, you know, I'm perpetually a student. I have no right to call myself a master of anything until I am dead. That's because that's when I stop learning. Oh, don't be afraid of it, to be honest. Just go for it. Everyone starts at level 0 or level 1 or whatever. The idea is that you're there to learn. Just find a group that you enjoy, find a system that you enjoy, and just go for it. Because yeah, there's nothing to be afraid of as long as you find a good group. And if you find a system that meshes with your beliefs or your own personal journey, so much the better. Because I have run into people who, they didn't like the martial art, but it just turned out it was the group they were with. Like, you know, they were in it for the fun of it, but they were with a group who all wanted to be super badass spar people, and there's nothing wrong with that, but the values clash. And that might leave a sour taste in your mouth. So, you know, no problem with that. Just excuse yourself, thank them for everything they've taught you, and find a bunch that is more fun for you to train with. So really, just go for it. Any martial art, Filipino martial art, if you want to do it, don't be afraid of hurting yourself. Don't be afraid of not being good enough. Because in the beginning, we all were not good enough, and a lot of us still aren't. We're all still learning, but we have to start somewhere.